Hello and welcome to Colin Bradley Artcast. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
Hello everyone from a very sleep deprived Steve at the
I
moment.
know my sympathies go out to you, Steve.
Whew.
And I'm sure others as well would be very, very familiar with that situation.
Yeah,
But as I've said many times, and I'm sure everybody would agree with that, it does get better.
yeah, yeah. We've been down this road before, and we know what the newborn phase is like. I think it's, as you said before we went recording. You said about how they're both young and they're both at that age where they're a bit more needier and stuff, and yeah, especially when one wakes up and the other one wakes up and you're just in the middle of the night, you're just one of you've got one of them, and then you come together and then the other one wakes up and you go, oh no, now okay, we've sorted that one and now this one's awake. And then it just prolongs your sleep, and then you know unlike the newborn, which will just sleep most of the day, the other one needs entertaining and waking up at 6 or 5 or whatever it is, and then ready for the day. And you've had like 4 or 5 hours sleep, and you're just powering through. But it's been a bit harder the last few days. But before, it's otherwise we've been coping all right. But it's these early weeks and early months that really get you. So yeah, almost didn't record this podcast. We tried the last few days to get time, but it's got to that time and I've just gone, I'm exhausted. I cannot record this podcast. And but now I am exhausted, but we want to record it. So here we are. Happy Easter, Dad. It's
And to
Easter
you.
Sunday as we're recording this. Have you had a nice Easter?
Yes, we've seen family. Your brother came round this afternoon. We had a good long chat. And it's been, we've been out and about as well, both yesterday, what was it, Saturday? No, Friday, Saturday. So we've been out all over the weekend, really, in different places. But I think we might have a day in tomorrow. At least that's the plan at the moment. But you never know.
Oh, lovely, lovely, good stuff. So this week, we wanted to show and talk about the next project that you've been working on. So you sent me a picture, so I'm going to throw that up on screen for everyone. This is your work in progress, and we can finally reveal that this is the project that you've chosen
That's right.
to do. So tell us about this one, Dad. Like, what made you choose this picture?
Well, I think you've only got to look at the reference picture there to see the reason it attracted me. Up to now, I mean, horses have hair. We know that. But usually it's very fine and very sleek. This one was a real scruff bag, and that appealed to me. He's got some lovely colouring. Now, I deliberately put that picture there, the reference picture, to show you that there's a lot of blue in it. Now, I've not seen this before on a horse. Could be the photographic system. I don't know, but I don't think so. It must be that colour. And but I was so attracted for the colour and the appeal to me and to you, and you can see that too. But can you look at that fur now? How do you get onto? It's particularly on the head, between the eyes and down towards the snout there, or should I say they're not not what they are? What a muzzle, probably. Anyway, whatever. That area, you look at that and think, how on earth are you going to be doing that? Well, I can tell you, it's not easy. But the picture that I'm working on at the moment, I've got a little bit further advanced than the one that you see there. I mean, I haven't even started on that area I'm talking about, let alone the eyes. But you can see on the left-hand side where I've followed the idea of the fur. And generally speaking, with horses, perhaps it's imperative that you do work in fur direction, but it's not that as important, but this is very important that you work in that direction. You can see along the mane, particularly. And these are the things that attracts me. You know, when I look at things like that, I think, I like the idea of that. I'd like to get my teeth into that.
Is it easier to have a horse with finer hair than it is to have this horse which has got slightly chunkier bits of hair? Which is easiest?
Absolutely. Oh, yes. That's the reason I chose this.
The
I mean,
easiest option is to have, rather than very fine hair, to have slightly bigger chunks of hair that are separated.
yes, it's. I've done, I don't know, 4 horses now. And this is the first one of this kind I've done. But this is what attracted me, the, the hair or the fur. Very unusual. I've not seen that before on an animal. So this is the main reason why I chose it. I mean, it may be, it doesn't to me, it's obviously a horse, obviously, but I don't know whether there's any crossbreeding going on. You know, it looks donkey-fied. I mean, it's not a donkey, but it looks
Maybe
like
the
a kind of
horse
idea.
lovers or enthusiasts can shed a light on this
I'm
and tell us a little bit more
sure,
about this particular breed.
I'm not even sure it's you know, UK. It could be a foreign animal, but my object of this is to show people how we can get over certain difficulties, and there's certainly some here as well. You know, the eye particularly. You look at that eye. I've not seen an eye quite like that before either, where you've got the colouring. But
Mm.
you know, it's going to be very interesting. I have done both ears now. I've got the one there, but I have done that second ear, and they look really good. Now, that do you remember I was talking to you? I think it was last week, or maybe the week before. We were talking about minimising the amount of colours that go on. Well, what
Mm.
I've done, I'm using the sand coloured pastel matte paper here, and because of that, it gave me kind of a base colour. No, it's not a base colour because you've got to put pastel on. But I started with the grey. I put the grey on first. That's the hang on, 273. This is, let me bring me back on that because I'm going to talk about that as well. 273. And then I used a colour called 180. Now, I did use that on a previous picture,
Mm.
180. So you've got the two colours and one other colour, 175. Now, that's all there is in that here, apart from the obvious lighter hairs. That was ivory. But that was all. That was all that was in. And what I did it in the sequence I said: grey first, then 180, and then 175, which give you the darkness. Then what I did then, because I wanted to show, I don't know whether you can see it very clearly. Probably you can't, but there's obviously an indication of colour in that ear. So I put the 180 back in on top of those colours, and that was it.
Just trying to
Can
see
you
if I can zoom in, and you can see that colour.
can you just see that? Well, that's been put back again.
Yeah.
So what it gives you then is gives you that depth, you know, which you wouldn't get otherwise. So
Yeah, you can see those three colours there as well.
oh yes, the
You,
three
you,
colours are there.
your picture looks better, but looks warmer than the actual photograph. Is that
Mm.
intentional?
Well, it obviously is going to be photographic prints are uh, hard. They don't have the sense of realism. Now, pastel, on the other hand, does. And when you see, I think I will show you both pictures side by side again, and you will see then, without doubt, that picture. You remember the dog last week I was talking about? The dog comes forward. You look as though it's three-dimensional. Well, this happens with the pastel. I think it happens more with pastel than any other medium. Watercolor, it wouldn't work so well. Oil, it would. You can do it with oil. Acrylic, possibly. But you know, these are pastel. I think I would right in saying that, as far as I'm concerned, it's the best medium to create the realistic look.
Mm.
And
What's interesting about this picture, and I can't wait to see you do it, is that hair, that sweeping hair, and across the eye as well.
that absolutely, it's funny you should say that, because that's something I've spent quite a long time on. It didn't take me long to do it, but quite a long video time, because I wanted people to see how I go over that. I'm not going to give it away at the moment. I might do later on how
Yeah,
I actually did that, because you think, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do you put the eye
yeah,
on first, and then you put the white over the top, or do you put the white on first and put the and infill? I'll leave people to think about that until
yeah.
next week. Perhaps I'll tell you next week what it, because you'll see a better picture next week with the
Mm,
of what I've done. So
mm.
how I did it.
No, it's looking great, and yeah, I can see why you picked this one. Other than any kind of normal, I say normal, but any other standard stereotypical horse
Mm,
that you might have seen and might have previously done. That definitely has a bit more interest to it, a bit more
mm.
character, and something different. So it's looking great. Yeah, really good. So you've progressed it a little bit more. We'll talk about that next week. I can't wait to hear about how you do that hair over the eye. My guess is you do the hair first. I'm just gonna guess. I think you go.
Okay.
I think you think you put the eye in around the hair, but what do I know? So perhaps if anyone else wants to guess how you do that in the order that you do it, then perhaps they can drop a comment on this video, and we'll see
Yes.
if you're
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Correct next week. Lovely stuff. Good. Well, we didn't have any other topics to talk about this week. Obviously, this is the beginnings of a new picture. But as always, if you want us to discuss anything, all you guys watching, listening, then please drop us an email or get in touch with us, and we'll happily have a chat about your chosen topic. But otherwise, we'll keep it fairly short on this Easter bank holiday weekend so that I can edit this podcast and go to sleep.
Yes. Well, have a good night.
Yeah, and hopefully next Friday I'll be a little bit more awake, and we can have a bit of a longer show. But for now, we will leave it there for this week. So thank you everyone for watching and for listening. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
Enjoy
Enjoy
your
your
week.
week.